hurting American workers and particularly their businesses. Chad Richison is the CEO of Paycom, and he joins us now. Chad, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it. So, first overall question, do you think that the politicians, most of whom have never had to meet a payroll, understand how this can really be screwing up the accounts of a lot of businesses?
No, Dave, I don't, actually. You know, this is the third time we've been through this. We went through this on December 15th of 2010. We went through it pretty much at Christmas Eve in 2011. And now here we are less than 3 weeks away from a somewhat punitive deadline, and we're waiting again.
Well, and again, the deadline is a 2-month beyond the deadline. Even if they pass it, this 2-month extension. Nobody does things in 2 months in the corporate community. They do it on a quarterly basis. So, I mean, that alone, that there would be a 2-month extension rather than a 4-month or a yearly extension, tells you a lot.
It does, and actually there's two issues. I mean, first is the deadline, and that is that by February 29th, 13 million businesses will have already processed their payroll and have already paid 70 million Americans. I mean, as you know, Dave, if you were to be paid this Friday, your pay period ended last Friday or maybe even before that, and your payroll person right now is working on your payroll so that they can submit it through the ACH system so that you would have access to your money on Friday. So February 29th as a deadline is the first issue. If we're going to make a change, the change needs to happen this week. Every week that goes on, more and more businesses are impacted. And what are they to do? Are they to over-withhold or under-withheld? Each of them has consequences for both the employer as well as the employee. And the second issue you brought up was the 2 months. It makes no sense. Employers, since the Social Security Act was established in the 1930s, have always reconciled this on a 941 every quarter. And employees have always reconciled it annually on a W-2. So how that would happen, again, we're in the business of doing this, and no matter what happens, we'll make it happen for our customers at our expense, not theirs. But you know, eventually you get to where you can't make 2 + 2 = 5. And
well,
I think
and you can do it. I mean, you guys have the computer and the personnel and all the software necessary to do it. A lot of the small businesses don't.
Yeah, that's right. What does the family-owned pet shop business do where the person isn't using a payroll company and they're actually doing it themselves? They may be cleaning the cages, ordering inventory, doing the accounting, and payroll is a piece of what they do. And let's remember, this is a very unforgiving business. This is a deadline business. People expect their checks to be in their accounts on time. You are penalized if you don't make the correct tax deposits at the appropriate time, or if you fill out the forms wrong. So, you know, we're really messing with something that impacts everybody. I mean, when you pick on payroll, you pick on everybody.
And particularly this picks on the small guys rather than the big guys who can afford it with all their lawyers and accountants. Chad, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate telling us what it's all about. Chad Richison, Paycom CEO.
Well, David, the plastic surgery industry